All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Planet Xbox, episode 55. I am your host, the Best Spot Kid Smooth, and pardon me as I try to, grab some gameplay. I want to show you guys a game right quick that just sort of might be a little sleeper. Might be a little bit of a sleeper. It's called Rain on Your Parade, available today in Xbox Game Pass. So check that game out. It's just like that donut game that
Donut County,
except instead of making holes all over the place, you're a cloud and you're raining on everyone. You one of the objects is to rain on a wedding and make sure you hit the bride and the groom. Another objective, there's like a dumpster fire. You got to put out the dumpster and everything else that's on fire. A little cool, quirky gameplay. And the first achievement is the easiest achievement I've ever seen is start the game. So if you want to check out Rain on Your Parade, available on Xbox Game Pass. I was supposed to I got home late from work, so I didn't even get to jump into it but I had it pre-installed. I had that game and MLB The Show pre-installed from Game Pass. But I think this is gonna be a little sleeper hit.
Yeah, I had to check that drink out.
What made you want to check this game out?
Dude, I was in Game Pass, right? No. I was in the Xbox store, and I seen it in the pre-order list. I'm like, oh, what is this? And then I went into Game Pass for some reason, and then that game was there in the coming soon section. And I was like, oh, let me check it out. You know what I mean? Let me check it out. And it just looked a little quirky. I don't know. It just looked like it might be fun, and I think it will. I think
the art style looks dope.
Before. You didn't see, did you see any
coverage on it?
Yeah, coverage.
No, I did not.
Oh, word, okay.
I did not, but it is there on Game Pass. You guys is checking it out. It's mad weird. This is the other game that's coming out. That's coming out, right? That's available on Steam, and it's about being an ant, but it won't be in Game Pass. But I think it comes out in next week. It's currently on Steam, but you're an ant. But graphically, it has these. Ultra real graphics, with the exception of the ant itself. He's like a cartoon. So I was just curious to see what that is, but I think it might be a point and click game, so I might steer away from that. But yeah, that's what I started. But man, shout out to Notorious Dre. Is joining us today. We're short staffed today, so NickBanks is running late. Chris Righteous, he's dealing with the fire that they just had in his building. So crazy. Praying for him and his family and everybody in that building. Hopefully they're all good. And then old man Logan's pulling the 12-hour shift, so he'll be back next week, or he'll definitely be somewhere in the chat. But firstly, welcome back, Dope Boy, Coke Boy.
That's good.
Where you been? What you been up to?
Oh, I've been busy with a lot of stuff, whether it's social life or just working and things like that. So, this week is a bit of a slow week. There isn't too much going on, so I'm here to attend. Other than that, outside of Wednesdays and stuff like that, I've just been playing a lot of different multiplayer games as of recently. A lot of Trials of Osiris and Iron Banner on Destiny 2. Started playing Apex a lot recently. I'm I'm actually liking that game a lot. Some Halo here and there, Doom Eternal. Yeah, just been playing a lot of shooters. I played Overwatch for the first time in a while the other day too, because of my homie.
Have you played it on the X, or you played it on PC?
No, I was playing on PC. I know X got the update as well.
Yeah, I re-downloaded it.
I might download that to see how it runs, because I'm doing this.
Had me a good ass game when I at 120.
I'm testing a bunch of different games on Series X right now, just to see what these updates are doing for a lot of these different games. So I tried out PUBG the other night, and PUBG ran well. It didn't run bad whatsoever. The game still plagued with this engine issues and things of that matter in the net code, but other than that, there wasn't severe popping how there was on my Xbox One when I played that game. So you have the option of prioritizing fidelity for that game or frame rate, and I prioritize frame rate. And yeah, the game runs well. I just don't like playing PUBG on controller. It's just really weird. The game wasn't meant for controller initially, because the game was built around PC.
Yeah. It's a lot of button presses and shit.
Yeah, it's not smooth whatsoever. So that was bad. Other than that, just been hanging out, studying, saving money, That's pretty much it.
All right. So we got Notorious Dre, who's been obviously he's added an Xbox into the household, and right. I know he's burned through Gears, Ori, and the Will of Wisps. I've been watching you on the leaderboards.
You see me?
Yeah, I see you still behind me, which I got like a safe lead, but the games you've played in that span of time have been obviously more impressive than the games I've played. So you did Gears of War, Ori, and obviously Outriders, which we talked about Outriders last week. So, but you've been on. What have you been currently playing?
Okay, so I just finished Jedi Fallen Order for the second time.
Nice.
It got that update, so I just finished that this morning. That was my game of the year for 2019.
Yeah.
I absolutely love that game. And then but before that, I was playing The Medium. I'm probably maybe 3 hours into that game. Like I just started to get the faces to set the spirits free, I guess you can call it. So yeah, I just started doing that. So I don't know how long I got left in that game, but I'm going back. That's my priority. The Medium is priority.
Yeah, that's my priority next.
They said our Planet Xbox browser is missing. Where is it?
What do you mean?
The PX panel, like for the whatchamacallit.
Oh, you're talking about the Discord?
Yeah, like where'd it go?
I don't know.
Oh yeah, you're talking about the icons?
Yeah, that's so weird. Like
I don't see them either.
All right, I'm gonna have to.
Shit, I don't see him.
I have to go to the classic way. This is gonna be weird, but yeah, that's weird. I don't know why that's the case. I don't know. Discord be doing some funny stuff, but
that's odd.
I forgot where to even go to get that. Honestly, personally, it's called I'm gonna have to do something sort of weird. Just give me a moment. Swans, what you been playing?
I just been doing the Zombie Army 4 Dead War like that. That's been pretty good. I've been also playing Valhalla. I'm actually enjoying that. I was telling Coke about that, that 60 and this shit is just the impactfulness of the bow and everything. It's pretty incredible. The game is really big though. When I'm going up to these mountaintops and I'm looking out and I'm just yo, this is the fourth mountaintop I've gone to, and it's just I keep looking out and there's this shit everywhere. I'm just and I don't leave areas when I play these type of open world RPGs. I don't leave the first area till I've cleared it out, unless I level wise I cannot clear it out at that time. So I've just been grinding with that.
I figured it out, bro. Why aren't we in the PX chat? Why are we in general?
Oh shit.
Let's go. Let's go.
Hold up.
Oh my god. My bad, guys.
Oh, all right.
Oh, that was horrible. Oh my god. See, this is that was horrible. All right, we're all in here.
I joined General for it. Yeah,
no, because I saw that Coke joined General and then I joined it because I didn't think we were doing the jump yet, in the thing yet. So okay.
Yeah, I didn't even know I hopped in there.
But I got I beat Control on the 1X at first, and then I got the Control Ultimate Edition with the X and S support. That game playing at 60, and that came with the expansions, the two expansions. They had a sale, so I got them bundled. So I'm playing that, and even at the resolution it's at, I think it's 1080p. It may fluctuate. I don't know. I forgot. But even with all of that being said, just it being at 60, I'm playing all of these games, and they all are at lower resolutions, but just the 60 frames and up make these games look and feel better for me. So it's like I'm seeing these games like they may be at like 900p, like at the lowest, but it's just being at 60. There's just like a fluidity to it that it's just like the games just feel and look better to me. Like I don't know, like it's just like I really don't know, but it just feels really good to look at these games in motion. Like playing Control with all the powers and shit. With the Control Ultimate Edition, it comes with cheat codes and shit, and it comes with its own set of like achievements too. So like I'm getting double the achievements after I beat the drink on the 1X. I'm gonna beat it again with this one. So I'm actually really satisfied with that. And I've been playing Outriders, trying to get into Outriders. It's cool. Like it's so.
Yeah, I finally finished Outriders. And I'm in the end game and stuff like that. That last boss was a BIOTCH. Which was completely unfair. It then I kind of stopped after people started losing their stuff. So I was like, you know, let me not do that and feel a certain type of way about it. But I had a blast. I played that game for 11 days straight. It was a great game. I felt like I got my money's worth. When you could like, I feel like I got my money's worth. I mean, if I would have bought it, it would have been the same thing. So you know, shouts out to Diem. Shouts out to them for that one. You know what I discovered about my Xbox and the other day? Now I heard about it, but I didn't see how true it was. So I signed up for a 30-day Google Stadia account. And I've played a couple games on Google Stadia from my Xbox Series X. And it's you can do this now. I'm pretty sure you got to be in like the preview program, but the internet browser on Xbox, they're going to be getting soon the Chrome base browser instead of the regular Edge. So Chrome base. So since Stadia works with like Chrome, I was able to log in and it works. It works like natively. Like it recognizes the controller. It doesn't think I'm using the Stadia controller. It knows I'm using the Xbox controller. It doesn't think I'm using the keyboard. It knows I'm using the Xbox controller, and it plays as it should. So I wanted, when I was doing a video on like Twitter, I wanted to find a game that was not available obviously on Xbox, but only on like, you know, Stadia or something like that. So that game, whatever I was playing, I knew it wasn't on Xbox, so I just picked that one. And I'm trying to find a game, Jill, but the thing I forgot about Stadia is that they actually expect you to buy these games.
Yeah,
they do.
Which is weird. Like I'm like, how do you buy a stream?
That's why I said that Xbox's service is going to be superior to that, because all you need is Game Pass, and then you can just stream it. Like you're going to be able to stream it from your Xbox, your PC, your phone, your TV eventually. Yeah,
like you don't have to buy it again.
Yeah, you don't have to buy it again, and then you have the games that are in Game Pass already that you can stream. So, like Stadia as a concept doesn't make sense. How they're trying to monetize it, like they killed themselves.
Yeah, for some reason I just I forgot all about this, that you had to buy games. I thought I was like, all right, you know, I'm gonna be able to, you know, I play the subscription, but they only give you like a handful of games that you can claim for free. But like the games that I wanted to play, like Jilt, or Guilt, whatever they call it, and then some of the games that, you know, that aren't. I played Little Nightmares 2 on it and whatnot. But like, I was like, wow, they actually charging like full price, like to the point. What threw me off is like you had NBA 2K20 and NBA 2K21 at the same price, $60.
Yeah, yeah, that shit's in Game Pass. Like,
yeah, so I was just like, wow, I was like, this. Yeah, I can see why this shit failed, because the way that their setup is supposed to be a subscription, I forgot Google Stadia tried to replace the console.
Yeah,
so
like they legit try to compete in the market space that's not really there. Like the adoption rate isn't really there for them, because they have no underlying business model that can carry it. Like with xCloud, Game Pass is going to carry xCloud. There's nothing else that's going to carry Stadia right now, and it really sucks for them, because they pumped a lot of money into it.
Yeah.
They closed down the studios, and all that talent is just going to other places. So it really was a failure, and they should have. We seen this like in the 2000s. I'm not sure if you guys remember this, but do you guys remember OnLive?
Mm-hmm.
OnLive was a streaming service, and like during the Windows XP days, and at first the concept was really, really cool, But people were using dial-up during that time. Like, you had no high-speed internet to be able to stream those games, and OnLive failed. Now, a part of OnLive got converted into PlayStation Now in the early days.
Yeah.
So that's how the origins of PlayStation Now started. But Stadia has no legs to stand on whatsoever.
Yeah. Jack Moon says you can buy games and play without a sub. I got the sub because I wanted to play something for free. I didn't buy any game on Stadia. Like I wasn't going to do that. It wasn't necessary. I signed up for the subscription so I can claim like free games so I can test it on my Xbox. The other thing I attempted to do is GeForce Now because I wanted to try, Death Stranding and Horizon Zero Dawn on Xbox via GeForce Now. But the problem with that was GeForce Now does not support Microsoft Chrome. They support Google Chrome, but not the Microsoft one yet. So that's what kept me from trying that one. I also had to, put that one on the back burner. But yeah, when that comes live, I'll definitely sign up for NVIDIA because I have games on like PC, but now that I can just go and, run them on my Xbox through the stream and see how they do. But it's just interesting just knowing I have that option. So in the future, if you guys see my Xbox like dashboard and you see why is there an internet browser pinned to my tabs or pinned on my pins, is because that's where Stadia is right now. But yeah, that's what I pretty much did, and of course I told you guys about Rain on Your Parade, which just came out. So the news has been sort of kind of weak this week. Xbox hasn't been, firing anything as they were like in the weeks prior. We know the article about PlayStation came out from Jason Schreier. They talked about Sony Ben not being able to get successfully pitched Days Gone 2. They talked about Last of Us Remaster being in the works again.
Remaster.
Yeah.
Remake. It could be remastered.
So there's a lot of people kind of, I guess, they're feeling a certain way because the way that the article is pitched, Jason says, it said like PlayStation's obsession with blockbusters is causing I forgot, but it was phrased.
I can pull it up right now.
People are like, I guess you got some people who are upset about Days Gone 2 not being possible, and then you got people who are upset that PlayStation's only focused on blockbusters, and then you got people who are upset that people are upset. Like, why are you mad that PlayStations are only focused on blockbusters? Don't you want exclusive bangers? So
Jesus.
Like from that, it was just more so like I honestly really don't have any opinion on it. Dre, we talked about it on Let's Talk Games last week, so I think that news came out the day of the podcast.
Sure did.
Have your opinions changed since then?
Somewhat. At this, like thinking about it, I'm just like, at this point, what does the fan base want? Like, what do people want Sony to do when they're listening to their fan base? I mean, because that's all they're doing. When you have a state of play and everybody calls it trash, when you see Xbox Game Pass and every PlayStation fan says they don't want it, all they want is AAA exclusives, and then this is what they're giving you.
Hey, my man spitting,
and people are upset. I'm just like, what do you want them to do when they're giving you what you want? That's what I'm not understanding at this point. Like sitting back and actually thinking about it, I just don't understand what the uproar is about.
Like, as I watched y'all show the LTG, and it was just like he's spitting. Like, it wasn't like, it's just like, and even I said it on Twitter, shit is just like they're just listening to their fans, or they're listening to the response that they get when they put out something that they say they're focusing on smaller titles, or just like they're kind of like cushion titles until they can put out those big bangers. But at the same time, you're gonna have them sacrificing potential for the things that they know will sell. So it's just like, for instance, like the Days Gone 2 that could have been that was obviously potential. It was just like, I enjoyed Days Gone. I put like 80, 90 hours into that fucking game. So it's just like, for a 2, like if you really paid attention to everything that was going on in Days Gone, there was a potential for a really good fucking sequel. Like the way that they were spitting that story, like I was like, ooh. And then they was talking about it was connected to a Siphon Filter in a way. I was like, ooh. So it was just like all of that shit. Like I was just like, wow, you could have really done something there. But it's just like when you're focused on that big response from your fans, and it's just like, okay, let's see what the fans are really like. I mean, responsive to. But plus, also when you're going off of these scores or the Metacritics or the ones that get awards and shit or that big recognition, you're going to try to keep that momentum going. So they're not going to be putting that amount of trust into those not so sure are the ones who get like lower scores than the others. So it's like you can't blame them. Like you got to think about when they're listening to their fans, like they're changing the literal definition of what a game is. Like a lot of these dudes, like they don't approve of some of the titles that hit Game Pass because they're not AAA, and so it's just like it's really scary and telling that, like I think the dude even on Iron Lords, they had the dude who worked for Sony for like 13 years on Iron Lords, that last Joan, and they also had the dude who worked for Windows Central, if I recall, up on there, and they said the same thing. It's just like they're completely changing the definition of what people consider to be games. The titles that land in the Game Pass, they may be smaller, but they're still games, and they still could deliver a very memorable experience without being break the bank AAA.
Yeah, look at how Sony started off. That's exactly how they started off.
Yes,
I bring this up all the time.
You're right, Jay.
No, you're good. Like, dude, you're making a great point because we talk about this all the time. We've been talking about this like the past year now about like what Xbox should do. You need to cultivate a lot of these smaller studios and support them, and really stand behind some of these projects. That's why I've been campaigning for second extension for a while. I'm like, yo, we got to get behind this game and really like give constructive feedback on how to make this game better, and give them the support that they need to make future titles, because this has been happening for Nintendo and Sony for many years. Like, look at the first Infamous game versus Second Son. Like, the first Infamous game wasn't a big title. I loved it. And they got support over there at Sucker Punch. And now look at the kind of games that they're pumping out right now. You know, Infamous Second Son, Ghost of Tsushima. Like, these studios have to start from somewhere, and you have to build them up organically. You can't just say, hey, we're gonna pump a whole bunch of money behind the studio, make a AAA game, and they fail, because you can't do that. The reason why Naughty Dog is the way they are right now is because they've been doing this for decades,
for a long time.
It's the same thing for a lot of these different studios. They've built a culture within their own studios, right? To say, hey, these are the kind of games we want to make. This is the process that we're going to take. Look at the evolution of the Uncharted series from the first game, and look how much of a leap they took with that second game alone, from the first one to the second one. Like, the second one was fucking amazing when that shit dropped in 2009, and it's still my favorite Uncharted game.
I like the first one more than the second one. Then I like the third one. But
the budget that they got behind the second one, the production quality, like it's there. So when we start looking at a lot of these different titles, not everybody can do what Sony is doing right now, especially Xbox, because they have to remember they just recently acquired a lot of these studios. They have to build up the culture within those studios first, and then start focusing on those bigger titles in the future.
And that's the thing with Game Pass, is that Xbox can take risk, and that's like I told Smooth last Friday. That's one of the fears that I have with PlayStation, is that they won't take as much of risk as they used to, because PlayStation didn't used to be all AAA bangers back to back. Yeah. Like, they have one, and then they have their little AA sprinkled in within a year, and then they'll have another AAA banger. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's how it used to be. Right. But now with them focusing mainly on AAA, I just hope that they don't lose the risk factor, because that's what made PlayStation who they who they are. Especially,
but didn't Jim Ryan say that when he came in? Like, his first statement was like, we're gonna be doing bigger games but fewer. It was just like, so the games they were gonna be like how much cash is put into them. They're gonna be those big AAA bangers, but it's gonna be fewer of them. So, I mean, ultimately, they're going to be getting these third party deals to kind of like soften it up, pad it out until they
That's true.
can drop these titles. So, I mean, like, that's understandable. But at the same time, like you said, like you would want them to have like those smaller, really memorable titles. Like people remember Inside, people remember Limbo like fucking years after they're done. People remember Little
Stuff
Nightmares
like that, yeah.
years after they're done because they're really memorable experiences. They're not AAA, but like I mean, that's fucking fine. Like every game doesn't need to break the bank in terms of development to be great. Like it really doesn't. So
Let me say this about Sony. Sony has every right to do this. They're
oh
in the
yeah,
driver's
for
seat
Oh,
right
sure.
for
now,
sure, for
and
sure.
Yeah,
we have to remember that these are corporations that we're talking about that are for
yeah,
profit.
absolutely.
They can care less about what we think. I think they should really
Oh
consider our
yeah.
feedback, but they're gonna do what's in their best interest to maintain profits and increase profits
Oh
as
yeah,
well. And for
absolutely.
Sony, it's marketing these big
Big,
franchises that
yeah.
they established over the years and saying, "Hey, this is what we have to deliver. We're proven already, and we're gonna continue to prove ourselves with these big AAA first party titles that we have." And not only just that, but securing these big third party titles, whether it's Final Fantasy,
Mm-hmm.
Returnal, Deathloop. Like we're gonna secure these deals and make it so that people will want to prioritize buying the PlayStation, and it's working for them right now. But it goes back to what Sean Layden said years ago from Game Industry Biz. It's like, yeah, you're doing all of this, you're pumping all this money into it, and you're making some of it, but is it the most sustainable way to do business right now? Because budgets are only growing for these games,
Hmm.
and not every game is going to be a hit, even though it's been very consistent for them with games being in the 80s and 90s. There's going to come a point in time where it's like, all right, like how many of these games can we play in a row before we get like bored of it?
Yeah, shit fatigued. I think somebody said it was about it's kind of like a template or like a mapping of sort when we played Battlefield, right?
Hmm.
And then you get the Star Wars and you play Battlefront. It was just a fucking skin of Battlefield. It was just like, yeah, like this is this the Star Wars aesthetic skin over
Yeah.
uh Battlefield. And it was like, okay, that's cool, but we kind of already played it already. And I think the person said it on IOP or he mentioned that somebody did say it. It was just like that's the way that Sony's kind of like leaning into is just like you trust that these big third party over the shoulder, cinematic heavy,
The Sony
very
template.
yeah, like that gritty narrative shit. Like it's just like they're gonna start. It's kind of like spreading over things, and it's
Hmm.
just like you're gonna be like, okay, this is what they want. This
Hmm.
is what is getting us the attention. This is what's getting us the accolades. So this is what we're going to start applying to the games that this will fit on. They
Hmm.
obviously can't do that with Ratchet and Clank or some shit, but it's just like the games that it does fit on, we about to do that. Because we're sure in what it can get us. The like so yeah, like
They're just listening to their fan base, man. That's, I mean,
Hmm. And it's not to say
really,
that all their games are the same. Because I know some people will think that's what we're saying right now. Like, oh, all Sony
no, no,
games are the
no,
same. No, they're not the same. They're all distinct in their own ways, and they all bring different things to the table. Um, but it's like people in the chat will say, oh, we don't want. Well, we want more than just Halo, Gears, and Forza, right? So that's a narrative that's been spun about Xbox recently. It's like, oh, we need more games than Halo, Gears, and Forza, but these games are coming, and people want to diss them. So it's like, what are we really doing here? On top of the fact that it's like, oh, some of these franchises need to change, like Gears. Like I've heard a lot of people saying, oh, Gears of War needs to change. I'm like, that's fine. I don't mind Gears of War changing, but how would we
yeah,
change that franchise, and
mm-hmm.
what feedback would you give to the developers to help make the franchise better? Because it's easy to say, oh, Gears of War needs to change. What needs to be different? How would you change up the Gears of War formula to make it fresh and good?
Yeah, like
I
they
told
love
Kid
these
that
general
about a couple
statements,
weeks
bro.
ago.
Like, yeah, my bad. Like, no, but he's always listening though.
He's in there,
Like he
yeah.
said,
He's
he's
always
always
here.
listening. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Is your mic muted, Smooth? For
You're
for the
right.
stream?
My mic
Yeah,
is
there we go.
muted. My bad. Yeah. I apologize. So you guys must have missed it. So shout out to Melodic Punk. I was saying that I'm not used to seeing you here. I'm extremely familiar with you. And you being in other chat. I think Melodic Punk is typically in ILP, if I'm not mistaken, right? But yeah, I want to read your super chat again because obviously no one could hear me. The Melodic Punk said for $2, he said Escalation Slayer and MCC is fun listening at work. I apologize for that random pause that you guys heard since my mic was muted. But hopefully you guys can hear that. And yeah, I mean, I kind of just sort of want to move on from the like the PlayStation stuff. I know
the
it
Sony stuff
dominated the talks last week because every time Jason Schreier posts something, it's going to make headlines. David Jaffe came out. He almost immediately had a podcast with one of the ex Sony Bend studio heads, and he talked about they talked about it, and they had a lot of questions for him. It was a good show, extremely long, but a good show, some good information there. But yeah. So let's talk about some of the stuff that's been going on, some of the rumors. Yo, Kojima, Xbox, is this a real thing?
It should be.
What is his name? Grubb said that like they're in like the lawyers signing paper stage. The so jump. So I mean, whatever it is, I mean it must be in like those final stages. And like I said, when he had that Luden statue there, motherfuckers was like, "Hey man, this nigga retarded. They're like, you think they about to work with Kojima?" I'm just like, bro, just pay attention, bro. Chill, relax. And then it was like, bow. Then he say that shit, and everybody's like, okay. So it's just like, nigga, like just pay attention. Like when this man, when he's putting stuff in the background, bro, maybe some of it is bullshit. Some of it, but I guarantee you, something out of all of that meant something. So it's just like, or maybe like half of that shit back there meant something. So and it's just like every time that Grubb speaks, like he's mentioning like the shit in the background, and he's like, "Hey yo, like there may be some validity why he got a switch back there. There may be something to this Luden statue." And we hear about the Kojima thing, and it was just like, come on, like just pay attention. Like I think Xbox is doing this shit on purpose, bro. I think they put things in the background. I think they put little emojis out there because that's the type of marketing that's helping them right now. Like it's helping them right now. Like you can't lie.
What you say?
Like yeah, like it's just drawing in attention. It got people thinking, got people speculating. It's working for them. Like that type of marketing, like they weren't doing that at first. Like their marketing wasn't as like gripping as it is right now. So I mean, it's really helping them out.
Salty Grubb was right about Perfect Dark though. He was very accurate about the Perfect Dark situation.
Yeah, come on, bro. Like
I think he's relatively credible in a lot.
Yeah, why do I think people what they did was they took the one thing where he said Xbox Live Gold will be free in the future, and they hold that against him because it didn't happen yet. And I don't know why. That's the only thing I guess they hold. But everything he said beyond that, and the crazy thing is there was changes with Xbox Live since then. It just wasn't. Gold technically isn't free yet. But everything else has been pretty much spot on. His summer, if you remember, he published his Summer Games Mess last year calendar and this year before a lot of that stuff was announced, and all those dates were accurate.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's like I don't know why people. I guess do it. I guess people the people kind of look at him side eye because he's more so. A lot of his information he has is typically pertains to Xbox, and he had a lot of like Xbox content. So, but like once the whole Xbox Live Gold thing didn't happen, they sort of just like linked to that, like, oh, he's not credible. But
I'm pretty sure that
historically,
was something in the talk, but it didn't pan out. So they might have changed their decision on doing that. You know, stuff like that happens when you're in journalism. you hear rumblings about a lot of different things. Some things are in consideration, but it's not final. The way he presented it was as if it was going to happen, but
Yeah, that it was
he
a
should have been
sure
a bit
thing.
more careful.
Yeah, but even Rand said that. So like, and it's just like people still don't like discredit the shit that he knows or the connects that he has. It's just like they're allowed to make mistakes. All right, they're not
Here,
all
like-
telling. They're not in the room with these people. They're just connected in a way, and things can change in between. So, but their track record.
Any Xbox fan in here, if you want to get like accurate information from particular people, and when it comes to Xbox, these are the people I kind of just listen to when they're speaking and they're dropping hints. Obviously Jeff Grubb, Jez Corden, Randall Thor. Randall Thor typically has Clobro, the Twitter account, and there's a Brad Sams. Brad Sams.
Brad Sams.
None of these people has ever led me in the wrong direction. Every time I needed some confirmation or of something, they've been pretty much accurate. So when I hear a rumor about something or I needed to comment on a rumor or something like that, if I get a answer from any of those, like, I'm pretty much game. That's why if you're going to tell me to take a bet based off information one of these guys tell me, I'm going to take that bet every day. So, shout out to Tony Esquire. Microsoft should sell their gaming division to either Apple or Nintendo because they will never win the Super Bowl. Bethesda ain't saving them either. Tony is losing his mind. Apple, no. Nintendo, no.
Apple or Nintendo. First of all, what's Apple going to do in the gaming space with all those studios?
Here's the problem.
My man sounds sad.
There's no other. Nobody. If somebody were to buy an Xbox, it would not survive because anybody who buys Xbox won't be able to afford to maintain it. That's the thing. People can't just jump into the gaming. And gaming. Remember, Google tried. See, Google. It would have been nice if Google bought an existing. Maintain that. That'd be different if like Google and Apple. If Google and Apple, yeah, probably. But anything outside of Google and Apple, the reason why Google is having a problem because they tried to start their own, and they just didn't do it right. They started their own on a new platform that wasn't proven, and their business model wasn't right. So they didn't do well. I think Apple could enter gaming, but I feel like if they were to buy, let's say if they buy Xbox, I think they would be the only ones that can like, all right, they'll buy it and maintain the status quo in terms of like they shouldn't be worried about like being able to afford to maintain it. There's only a few companies that would be able to get into gaming and afford to maintain it. You got Sony, you got Nintendo, you got Microsoft with Xbox, but it's harder for other companies to just come in because gaming is expensive. Game development is expensive. Marketing deals is expensive. Working with third parties is all expensive, and the margins aren't there. So, good luck. Nice, I guess, input. But who else I wanted to ask about?
Going back to the Kojima thing, like, what's the big issue?
Like what do you mean?
Like, why are people upset that he's working with Xbox?
Well, who's upset? Is it PlayStation guys or Xbox guys?
I mean, like you see it all on Twitter that it's this big deal that he's working with them as if his studio is under PlayStation Studios.
Yeah, because
like PlayStation didn't want to finish further talks after Death Stranding because guess what? They said there was a mixed reception. He wanted to work with Sony. They didn't want to continue with Death Stranding. So like he's like, that's cool. I'm gonna get the bag from Microsoft. Thank you.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
check,
what's
please.
the issue? That's what I'm trying to
like,
say.
it cost Oh shit! What's
up,
good?
y'all?
What's good,
NickBanks.
Nick? What's good, Nick? Like he's like Kojima has been synonymous with the Sony since PS1. So it's just like that's one. Two is just like what the hell was it? Shit, I forgot what the fuck I was with. But he's just known with Metal Gear, PT when that came out. These things were all linked to Sony. So him now going over here, like I don't think he's ever had kind of like a deal or anything with Microsoft in this manner before. So where they talk about signing papers and shit like that, like he's done third-party games that have hit Xbox, but nothing that was solely talked to be exclusive for Xbox. So, yeah, like that's the gist of it. Shit.
I don't even think. I don't think they working on a game. I think Death Stranding coming to Game Pass, dog. Because it ain't. Remember, they didn't get the return on that investment, right?
Nah, but that's like one thing, bro. They talking about signing papers and lawyers. Like that's not like
Who said it though? Like who's?
Jeff Grubb said that, bro. Like,
Oh
like,
hell no! All right, but go ahead. My bad.
Like you think they about to do it just for Death Stranding? Like you think they about to go through these talks and be like in these rooms over Death Stranding? They could do that over a phone call or some shit.
Mhm.
I don't know.
This is more than that.
Okay, we'll see, man. We'll see.
Like, what do you have like against Kojima?
To answer Nick's question is that not Nick. To answer Dre's question is that Kojima notoriously works with PlayStation. Pretty much like they did obviously Death Stranding with PlayStation. They did what was the Metal Gear that before this one?
Yeah, but isn't that it though? Isn't it just like, and is it Metal Gear 5 on Xbox?
Metal Gear, yeah. Metal Gear 5, but what was the one where he was first old? Like when they first made him old, like
4.
4, and then also PT wasn't on Xbox at all. That was a PlayStation thing. And then the Silent Hill that they were gonna do, I think that would have been the next would have been a PlayStation exclusive before they canned it.
Isn't like all the Metal Gears on Xbox?
Now it is, yeah.
Now, but as retro releases, because you gotta think they weren't natively there. I don't know. I don't know. What was the first one that was
360?
I think like Rising, like all right. So majority of them, yes, but like the classics, 4. Like besides 4, there was like. Right, the one with the dude with the hack and slash one that was there.
Resurgence or
I don't think without it being a remaster, because I'm pretty. It was like the remaster ones that eventually got there, the remasters and the ports that they were doing. But I don't think beyond that point. I think they were like PlayStation, like during the PS2 era. I think all those came out on like PlayStation. They might have did like a remaster for GameCube or something like that.
So the big issue is that this supposed game might be Xbox
exclusive.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Oh, they'll get over it.
Well, timed exclusive.
I doubt it's time. Unless all right. We'll see it like this. If they're counting on what Kojima will bring for them, like the benefits of working with Kojima, like I think the better deal would be something long term. I think he's burned, or he's at least rubbed Sony the wrong way with how Death Stranding turned out, because apparently what he showed them or what he told them the game was gonna be turned out completely different when they finally got to promotion of the game, in which they still didn't know how to promote the game. As was it an action adventure? Was it a survival horror? What was this? Like it was like a twist on a survival game basically, but it was just like it changed up on them, and so he kind of threw them in the pile of shit, and he was just like, yo, you got to deal with it, I'm Kojima. So it was just like,
what did we say, Nick? There was no failed movie producers there. So they didn't get the typical, PlayStation games that they had. Nothing wrong with those games, by the way. I have to clarify that. I like those games. Look up my trophies. But yeah, he made a different game. It didn't pan out the way that they thought it was gonna be. I still have to get around to playing that game because I got the game from Old Man Logan. Shout out to Old Man Logan. He came through with the copy of it and the steelbook. So yeah, that's the boy right there.
So
listen, Kojima would do great things at Xbox as well. Okay.
Yeah, like I believe it.
Yeah, he did some. I mean,
shit.
He worked with.
Oh, go ahead, bro.
Nah, go ahead. I was going to bring up the work he did on Castlevania. That was on the 360.
Shit. Like he's working on a couple jumps though.
Metal Gear
Rising. The Metal Gear stuff, yeah. He worked on a couple of things, but people always tie him to Metal Gear, Death Stranding, PT. But he's worked on more titles.
Yeah.
But it's like the Kojima has been like a big staple for me since PS1 with the Psycho Mantis boss battle. So I mean, shit, if we could get something like that on the Xbox in some type of way, like I'd be super super happy. Like to get a boss fight like that. Like that was really fun, revolutionary.
Personally, just to answer what Nick said. As much as I would love to see Death Stranding on Xbox just so I can use it in like these Twitter wars, that's not likely to happen for the simple fact it's using like a Sony proprietary first party engine, the Decima.
Just the Decima engine.
Yeah, so that's the only reason why they probably got some contract rating, even though it wasn't like a full on PlayStation exclusive. There's something in the contract that would probably not allow that game to be played on an Xbox.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
they did bring it to Steam though, right?
Yeah, but that's PC.
Yeah.
Didn't they bring it to
It's different, a different situation.
like Stadia or something too? Or
It's not on Stadia. I would have played it.
All right, so I'm tripping then.
It's on Steam for the simple fact that Jim Ryan wants to make more money off the game. Which some of you guys have been telling me, oh, these games aren't coming to PC, and I'm like, yeah, these games are coming to PC. They make a lot of money off of PC. Actually, I have an article I sent on the Twitter chat that Death Stranding made a shit ton of money on PC.
Yeah, like 27 million, right?
27 million, something like that. They made a lot of money off of PC with that game. Same thing with Horizon. Yeah, 27 million in 2020 off of Death Stranding. I'm telling you, there's going to be more of a concerted effort.
A whole slate
game on PC. I'm telling you, because
now
PC
the thing
is an untapped market for a lot of these titles.
Now, in regards to Death Stranding on PlayStation, remember PlayStation never highlighted its financials with that game after it came out. Remember the game? They gave him a blank check. The game obviously didn't sell as well as they anticipated because Sony never had nothing to say about it. They had no PR for it. So that probably rubbed them the wrong way. I don't know what the relationship between Kojima and PlayStation is, but I'm not the biggest Kojima fan personally, or I'm not a fan at all, so I'm not even going to front. But I'm not going to be mad if his game appears on Xbox. So and if it does, hopefully it's good. It's just to me, I just like the conversation, to see how I like watching people flip their tone. Like how people flip their tone on Ninja Theory when they got acquired, how people flip their tone on Bethesda and all this other stuff. Let me read these super chats from Phaso007 for $1.99. Says MGS 1 and 4 are the only games that aren't on Xbox. MGS 2 was an OG Xbox. Phaso007 also backed up. He says he did Zone of the Enders 1 and 2.
Yep.
That was my shit too, Zone of Enders. Yeah, I love my shit.
And what else we have? So Kojima potentially working on Xbox. We're probably going to hear something about that at E3. And speaking of, also just leading with Kojima, Xbox rumored to acquire some IPs from Konami.
I didn't hear this.
I didn't hear that.
They're rumored to acquire some IPs from a Konami, or either get licensing rights to the IP, since Konami is no longer making like traditional console games and stuff. They're on some other stuff. They're like in the mobile market.
The the mobile.
There's three promising IPs that would be up for grabs. Metal Gear, Castlevania, Silent Hill, right? So a lot of people think the Xbox is speaking with Kojima because they probably acquired the rights for Konami for Metal Gear, and they
put him at the head,
and they could connect them both. They could reunite Kojima with the Metal Gear franchise, and it become an Xbox exclusive. Should he continue with that?
That'd be some fire shit though.
That'd be nice. Yeah.
So we'll see how that works out. We got some other Game Pass rumors that are taking place. One of them is for now. We all know about Ubisoft, right? Mm-hmm. But the rumor is that Far Cry 6 is rumored to be day and date with the introduction of Ubisoft Plus or Ubisoft Play on the Game Pass.
Yeah.
So
tight.
that would be nice. To see to have Far Cry 6, and then that could also potentially, if Ubisoft Plus or I forgot what it's called, their service.
You play Plus, something like that.
If you play Plus, if their games are day and date, that wouldn't just be Far Cry 6. That would be their other game that they got coming out later on this year that was supposed to be out already. That it was like this like crazy ass extreme sports game.
Oh yeah. But damn, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yes, that game was supposed to come out in like February, and they got pushed back.
Yeah. I mean, Game Pass is getting better. The more titles you can put us out there will be better.
Yeah, big facts, bro. Like, I mean, it's getting stupid how much
Riders
value is going.
Riders Republic, yeah, Riders Republic.
What is that about? Like you said, it's a sports.
It's
game
an extreme sports game. Like
it's kind of like that Steep game, but just with like every extreme sport, like with the bikes and stuff.
Oh, I remember. PlayStation 1 had a game like that. It was like scooters and skateboards and bikes, and you just race and shit. It was crazy.
Yeah, it's pretty much like pretty much.
What was the game called again?
Riders Republic.
I might have to.
Smooth, you getting dropped in this joint? This you?
No.
Yo, man.
Sorry, I'm chewing.
Like how he was getting dropped on Halo.
I just needed to grab some gameplay, but I only got dropped once. You're just watching a loop. That's all. Yeah, no, carry your ass in this game.
Yeah, that would be tight though, man. With if it's definitely Far Cry 6. Oh,
yeah, but the biggest rumor is Battlefield 6.
Oh yeah. That
I
was
don't think.
So it looked like EA is looking to strengthen their relationship with Xbox. And they always had a good relationship. Now EA Play is already there, right? But EA Play doesn't put games day and date into the service. It's just once they go into the vault, they go into Game Pass. So that's how that works. And with this Battlefield, now with EA Play, you need Game Pass Ultimate, right? With Battlefield 6, it wouldn't require Ultimate. You'll just get, it'll be Game Pass. It'll be part of the games that drops in Game Pass. But Battlefield would be big for the simple fact that it's highly anticipated because we haven't seen the game in some years, and I think it's going to be modern or in the future, if I'm not mistaken.
It's a modern combat Battlefield game. That's set a couple years in the future, so there's gonna be some real high tech shit in there, but it's not gonna be like some like cybernetic shit. Yeah, it's modern combat with more of the tools of war that we haven't seen in the video game before. So think about more of like Battlefield 4, but like 10 years, like 10 years after.
Maybe like 10, 15 years ahead. Like where it's like, I mean, it'll probably most likely have tech that our military, our government hasn't put out into use yet. Like, but it's known, like it's there. Like, so
yeah, they say
it'll
the
have like
scale
some
of the game
conceptual stuff.
They said that the scale of the game is going to be bigger than any other Battlefield game we've ever seen before.
Everyone says that. So.
Like,
yeah,
but that game looks like, from what's been said right now, like in their investors call, like they said, like the scale of this game, like we're gonna have the most players we've ever had in the Battlefield game, which I believe them, because if you remember going from like Battlefield 3 to Battlefield 4 on Xbox One, like that was the first time we've ever had that many players on the console. And they're gonna do the same thing. I think it's like 128 players or something like that.
Sorry. Not like, I mean, is this game gonna have a story? Is my question, Coach.
Of course, of course they're gonna have a story, but I'm more focused. I don't care about Battlefield for the story as much as I do for the multiplayer. Because the multiplayer is the biggest thing for me with Battlefield. Like ever since I played Bad Company 2, I was like, this is a very unique multiplayer experience that they provide you with, like all-out combat and playing for objectives with that many players on the field, and the scale of those maps and how the gameplay flows with everything. Like game modes like Rush, Conquest, like I love those game modes.
Yeah. Excuse me.
Yeah, I mean,
but it's like all I care about is the story. Like I'm a dabble in the multiplayer, but I really just enjoy the stories and see what it's gonna be. I would have liked should a Bad Company Joan, but I mean, you know what it is. So
does anybody know like the time? So like when a new game goes into Game Pass, like what's the duration of how long it stays in there?
It varies. It really all depends because they don't put like an
Yeah.
expiration date. It just 30 days before it leaves the service, it'll go into the leaving soon section, or you'll get an email notification, or your app would notify you when a game is leaving soon. But yeah, there it depends. They don't come out and announce and be like, all right, this is in Game Pass for this many months. There's some games that have been in Game Pass for a hot minute since the the service started. So, and then there's games that have been in there, like for example, GTA has already been in there twice. Is right now it's on the second go. It really all depends. It really all depends.
I'm just asking because like with a game like with Battlefield 6 going into Game Pass, I mean obviously Xbox is going to front them, but of course they want themselves as well. So just wondering how long would they keep a game like Battlefield 6 in Game Pass?
I would we got to see how long Outriders is going to be in there, right?
No, that's not the measuring stick.
You don't think that's it's a big. We got to think about it. It's Square Enix. It's Square Enix, right? This is the first like major third party game that they did. So EA, but the problem is you have EA and Microsoft has already an existing relationship, and then you got to think about it, right? Battlefield 6 is already bound for Game Pass through EA Play at some point. True. So the thing is like, sure, how long is it? It could be for as long as their partnership. Because if you think about it, they could sign a separate deal for Battlefield, right? They get that, and then by the time it run its course, it will be going into the vault, which will put it in Game Pass anyway.
That's what I'm saying. So how long does the games tend to stay out the vault before they go in the vault?
Some of them, well, once they're in the vault, they're in the vault. Like that's it. Like
yeah, but like what's the time frame before they go in?
Well, it depends.
It takes a couple months.
Yeah, sports games is generally a couple months. Like Madden is generally right around the Super Bowl or right after the Super Bowl where it goes into the vault. Live hasn't been around for years. It's usually during the off season or playoff time or like the start of the off season is where they put it in the actual vault. Now games like Battlefield and stuff, the games that aren't like on like a season or anything like that, they would typically, I would say generally 6 months to a year. Yeah.
So like the reason I'm asking is because Battlefield 6 goes into Game Pass, right? Mm-hmm. And that's potentially 18 million users that could potentially play the game, right?
Yeah.
But then what happens? So when it's time to buy that game, what happens? Like, is it a risk for putting a game like that into Game Pass because the player base could drop once it comes out of Game Pass?
That's definitely a risk, and that's something they have to evaluate.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure during the talks of having that right now, like how would this work out logistically for us to put Battlefield 6 inside of Game Pass. I think it could work, but I think Battlefield 6 is that big of a franchise and that big of a name where it will sell on its own. People will still buy it day one.
No.
So you think when it leaves, people are just going to go with it?
Yeah.
No. So I don't know if people will go with it. It depends on how sustainable the game is, and how fun it is to play beyond it leaving Game Pass, right? Because there's certain games that when they leave Game Pass, some people don't want to buy it, some people will. Right.
Well, you think about it. Think about it.
I don't think Battlefield 6 needs Game Pass.
No.
But it will definitely benefit from having Game Pass.
There's
gonna be a lot. There's gonna be a lot more people who don't play Battlefield that will hop on that game day one just because of that.
Now think about this. Look at a previous Battlefield. You know how Call of Duty typically sells throughout the entire year. How long does Battlefield typically stay on the charts when it releases? Because if it's a game that
the last game to do that was Battlefield 4, like to consistently sell on the charts. We haven't had a Battlefield game like that where it consistently sold on the charts. Battlefield 5 was a disaster. Battlefield 1 started off good but didn't end well. Mm-hmm. And then Battlefield Hardline, we all know what happened with that game. It wasn't great.
Would Battlefield 6 be a chart topper? I mean, we could. Yes. They could give the player the user count, right? I mean, but with people not buying it, well, I guess on the Xbox side, if it goes into Game Pass, would it still be a
right, you have to remember, Battlefield sells well on PC and PlayStation as well. especially
I mean,
on
that's-
PC,
yeah.
which
Yeah.
PC makes up a huge base of players who play Battlefield, because Battlefield is essentially like, well, depending on when it drops, is the benchmark for a lot of systems.
So
And
like
it's
on
very,
Xbox,
it's very,
it
very
would just
pretty.
be
It's very
player
pretty on
count.
PC.
So player
Assume-
count on Xbox would
assuming-
be just a measuring stick. For
Assuming
Xbox.
it goes in Game Pass, but
Right,
even if it
yeah,
doesn't go in
but-
Game Pass, it will sell a lot.
Like you gotta think about like you gotta think about this. Like the dude on IoT, like he kind of broke it down the same way that I kind of break it down every time that a game is like in there. Like especially games with heavy monetization or just like loot boxes or things, customizable things that you can buy in a game. After you've bought those things in a game, let's say that Battlefield 6 is in there for let's say like a month or two or whatever. So after you've bought these things, or you've bought DLC, or you've bought charms for your guns, or some like silly shit like that, it's like after the game leaves, these people are already invested, and most will buy. Like after you've already put cash towards something, you will buy if it's leaving, and plus at that, like you're getting the game at a sale price too, like for like some of the times that they do go. So like I mean. Once you get people invested, I think that's what they're promising, is just like if you get as many hands on the game at first, and these people aren't paying out the full $60, $70, whatever. Like if you get as many hands as you possibly can, as many eyes as you possibly can, even the people who never had any interest in Battlefield at all, it's in Game Pass. It's not even going to hurt you to touch the jump. So it's like it's almost like it's promised hands and eyes, and then promised sales if people get invested. If your game is good enough to grab them, or like if they've already put cash forward, they're gonna usually buy. That's what I do. Like I've bought DLC for not DLC, but just like little cosmetic stuff for the zombie army jump. Once it goes, I'm copping it because I've already put money in it. See what I'm saying?
It makes sense. Yeah. Makes sense.
And you gotta also think about Battlefield is also EA still has their own like subscription service on PC where games do go day and date. What is it called? EA Play, what, Premiere or something like that? Or
Yeah.
That's on PC though, right?
It's
Yeah,
like
on PC.
extra too, though, ain't it? It's like extra.
yeah, you pay. It's more expensive than the standard EA Play.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah, that would be pretty nice to have Battlefield 6 join Game Pass this holiday. But there's a lot. I mean, there's still some, things we need to know about. We still got to get an update on what's going on with this Crossfire X. I'm still waiting to get an update on that in terms of. But there's also games. What I've learned about Game Pass, right? When these big games go in there day and date, they don't tell you right away. Outside of like a AA or an indie where they can tell you right away, those big AAA third-party games, what I'm starting to notice, like for example, the timing of Outriders and the timing of MLB, they were, less than a month from their release when they did that. You know why I think they're doing that? I think they're waiting until the game goes gold. Versus, let's tell people at the last minute. I think they're waiting till the game goes gold so that when they announce it, they don't have to worry about the thing getting delayed and whatnot. And then that might change something. But once the game goes, because games typically go gold maybe 3 to 5 weeks prior to their release. And in some cases, there's games that go gold like 2 months before they release when they announce it. But in most cases, lately, it's been like maybe 3, 5, maybe not say 3. I would say 5 or 7 weeks, and once they do that, they're guaranteed on the at least with like the release date, and then they can advertise it that way. So a lot of these games that we're hearing about, they're not gonna get an announcement like next month or something like that. We'll probably hear more rumors and stuff, and then like when they get close to their release, once they're going gold, we're gonna get those announcements. Like for example, like I would love to see Scarlet Nexus going to Xbox Game Pass. It's due out June 25th. If it's going to go,
cool.
We're probably going to find out like towards the end of May. So I got my hands on my eyes on that. What's her name? Melissa Game Pass or something like that. What's her name? That Game Pass account that be leaking the emails. So, but yeah, that's Tony Esquire, $5 says, deadass. Xbox gamers don't even play games developed by devs like Hideo Kojima and Bethesda, especially Kid Smooth. Why not stick to Halo? A sure hit.
Yeah.
Because I don't have to. You know what I mean? Like I've been all right. So I posted this thing on Twitter, right? And people are on this this thing that I'm against buying games, or I'm trying to start war against owning games. But I went back and dated the games I've been playing right since December, like games that I went through, beat, or put some hours into and stuff like that. And these games happen to be in Game Pass, and I looked up their actual price that they were when they launched. Let me try to go to the tweet right quick. Man,
you said it was like $280.
Yeah, 200. It ended up being $280 that I would have spent on those games had I bought those day one. I played all these games day one as soon as they got to the service, and they were all day and date releases. It would have costed me $280 bucks to buy those games. And people like to say, Xbox Game Pass costs $180 a year, stuff like that. Now, I only did from December up until where we were at in April. So I didn't include MLB The Show and anything that's coming up in the future. So I'm like, okay, it would have costed me $280 bucks to date to buy those games. Yet 4 months of Game Pass from December to April. What was it? Is it 4 months? Almost 4 months. At that point, it was almost 4 months, which turned out to be $75. $75. And I beat all those games in that time.
Give me a plate.
Yeah, people understand the purpose of trying to find value in anything. Whether
75,
it's like
but that's
or,
hold on.
Just
that's
being a consumer.
That's a next gen game plus taxes.
Right.
Yeah.
Like my man, like this Tony Esquire dude, he just needs a fucking Snicker and go work out or some shit. Cause like this man just every time I see his name, like he's just really sad or angry. Like I don't know what's up with him.
I mean, he was fine last week.
It's just like the value is just like it's there, and it's just like I hate the narrative that people who subscribe to Game Pass don't buy games. I've been buying games this whole fucking time, to be honest with you, and still subscribe to Game Pass. Like, so, and it's like, I extend my Game Pass all the time. So it's just like, I could keep Game Pass and try out games that I'm not sure about. And once I try them out that I fuck with it, like we talking about games that I haven't bought yet that I'm going to buy. Octopath Traveler, tried it out, loved it, I'm buying it. Do you feel me? I'm buying it. Like, it's just like, there's no questions being asked about that. Like the Zombie Army, I'm buying it. You know what? I tried it through Game Pass. What the hell? Like, I didn't come out of pocket first time in like, it takes away that risk factor. Like, you got to think about it. It's kind of like Blockbuster. Like, after I returned the game to Blockbuster, you know what I did? I bought Max Payne because I liked it that much and I didn't beat it yet. It just takes away the risk factor. Like, I don't know.
Like, when is it bad to save money? Like, when has saving money been an issue? I don't get that. Yes, I am cheap. I want to save as much money as possible.
Exactly. You're frugal. Like you're frugal. Like,
listen. We all got
shit to do,
jobs and whatnot.
Exactly.
We all can support our hobby. So I don't think money is an issue to buy these games. But if I don't have to pay $70 for a game, I'm not.
Exactly.
So, period. You can call me broke all you want to.
I'm gonna keep it.
I don't care.
I'm gonna keep it funky with you guys, right? I'm gonna keep it funky with you guys. I mean, hey, yo, you telling me, right? I get buying games and stuff like that, but if I'm gonna play a game while it's in Game Pass, and let's say I play it, I beat it, and I 100% complete it, like get all the achievements, or even beat it, and there's no reason to play again, I'm not buying it.
Exactly.
It's not because I don't. It's not because I don't like it. It's just like I got what I needed out of the game. It's like as much as I love the medium, I have no reason to buy it. I exhausted the game. The game has like I got like 2 more achievements to get in the game if I really want to get it, but like I have no real need to actually like, all right, no, I need to buy this game. Nah, I beat it. I enjoyed the hell out of it, but I don't need to buy a game I would buy. Right? For example, let's say Outriders is due to leave out soon, and then they do with a game like Outriders, right? It's intended to have life after the campaign, its primary campaign, and so I know that game is not going to be in the service forever, and I'm going to want to play any expansion that they have for it. So if the game falls out of Game Pass, I'm going to buy the game because I know there's going to be expansions coming to it that I'm going to want to play. So yes, I'm going to buy that game, but the next freaking single player game or something like that, or a game that comes out that has like subpar multiplayer but a great campaign and I beat the campaign, I'm not buying it. I am sorry. It's like, and I'm like, and you got people online and they want to show off. I like to buy my games. So every time I speak about games, I own my games. I'm like, all right, good for you. Like, I mean, I'm not mad at like that you spent like in 2017
they buy their movies, they buy their music, they act like they don't use Netflix and all these different streaming services. Watch music, listen to music, watch movies and stuff. I guess you bought all your movies
in 2000
and everything.
It was 2017 or 2008. It was 2017. From September to December, I spent almost $500 in games. I don't want to do that shit again. Even I love games. I want all the newest games day one. Some of them were duds. Some of them I should have waited for a sale and whatnot. But you know what I mean. It is what it is. People understand like, okay, like yeah, you own your game, but people make it seem like, oh, because I'm quote unquote renting the game, I'm having a completely different experience than they are.
Yeah,
I don't get it. I just don't get it. I
Like,
never knew it was a bad thing to save money. I never knew.
yeah, no, I don't understand. Even if I had a good, I'm getting paid pretty well for my job right now.
Mm-hmm.
That still doesn't mean I'm about to be going out here blowing cash like a fool. Like, it's just like, I mean, if I could get something cheaper, I'm gonna get it cheaper. Like, that's the smart thinking, my man. Like, what the fuck?
I don't get it.
These internet dudes, you could fool them into going broke. Because all they want to do is, you really can. Because all they want to do is prove to you like, oh, I'll buy this. So all right, so the more I praise Game Pass and talk about how much games are on Game Pass, the more games they gonna spend as soon as they come out, blow their $70 on, and that's gonna be their problem to worry about. Like, you can literally fool people into going broke because all they want to do is flex, and they don't even really mean it. They just want to be a part of the conversation. Oh, I hate Game Pass, so I'm gonna buy this game I ain't really interested in just to show them I can afford it. Like, come on, man, get out of here with the bullshit. Like, for real. Shout out to Faisal 007 for $4.99. He says Tony is on crack. I play Kojima games on Xbox. Line. Who made ponies the gatekeepers of who is a gamer and who is not? Good point.
Yeah, that's true.
They trying to gatekeep Kojima, man. What's going on? What is going on?
Yo, they won't support it if it is a Xbox exclusive. You've seen some people say it, just like they didn't support Sunset Overdrive with us. They don't like these developers and games. They just like the company, bro.
Yeah.
Shit, I bought Sunset Overdrive like 2-3 fucking times. Like, so it was like,
I'm saying Sony, like them guys. That's on.
Oh yeah, they weren't messing with no damn Insomniac when Sunset Overdrive came out. None of those diehard fans. No, they didn't buy an Xbox when they.
Love Insomniac.
When Xbox did it the competitive way by getting an exclusive from them on their platform, they did not come over. They did not come over. They weren't messing with it. But got the nerve. They'd be like, well, Sony on Sunset Overdrive IP. Hopefully they remaster it when they could have played it years ago. They didn't even bother playing on PC. They didn't.
They called it garbage. They said the same shit back then. Oh, this ain't a banger. Typical Xbox narrative.
Yeah, they complained about the art style and all of that shit. Like,
I want to stop hearing these dudes brag about their profits and stuff now, because then they turn around, they brag about the profits, and then turn around with, well, they can't give it give us MLB on Plus because they'll lose money. Just brag about them profiting and revenue, and man, get out of here, bro.
Yeah, like
You made a good point, Nick. You made a good point because I did see
he does.
somebody post a screenshot of where Microsoft revenue is compared to Sony and Nintendo, right? Oh, they're in third, right? But then turn around and then come up with some logical explanation of why this game isn't in PS Plus or PS Now. I'm like, all right.
Hey, bro, my man.
Hey, what your boy Jay Bar say? Sony got the money.
He's Geekhead 188 for $4.99. Shout out to you. He says MFers be saying you broke, but at the same time say PC is expensive.
Facts. Facts. Look at this, yo, bro. They be like, yo, you broke. You're not trying to spend $70 on Returnal, right? I'm like, no, I'm not trying to spend $70 on Returnal. That the game looks good, but I'm not trying to spend $70. Oh, you broke. But my PC costs more than all your consoles combined.
Mm-hmm. Look at
bro.
Damn.
Like, look, damn. Like, and I got the next gen consoles.
Like, I'm not even going cap. Like, at the beginning of this, of like last gen, like I had like a PS4 Pro, and I had to the Xbox One S. So, and I went into debt, trying to maintain this hobby, like this image. You feel me? So like it was like I would take pictures with my collector's editions. Mm-hmm. I had collector's editions stacked to the ceiling. Like I had statues from fucking. I had the what's that game? The Last Guardian jump. I had that one. Shit, I had so many fucking collector's editions. I sold them, most of them now, but it's just like I had so many just trying to keep up with the Joneses and like keep up this image that I'm this hardcore gamer and shit that like I really ran myself into the Jones, and I was just like, see, this ain't the way to go. So like I was like, fuck all that fronting. Like, I mean, shit, if you think that I'm broke or you think that I'm not a gamer because I don't have physical this, physical that, and all this bullshit everywhere, that's on you, bro.
Yeah.
Like, cause like I'm not about to be running myself ragged trying to perpetrate for these people. So.
Yeah, man. They like I said, you could fool somebody into going broke, just by talking shit.
No, but I wasn't even on Twitter though. Like, I wasn't even on Twitter. I wasn't even on YouTube. I didn't know about none of this.
Yeah.
Like to a degree. So. Yeah. Like,
now,
you just gotta be smart with your money, man. Fuck that shit. Like,
yeah, dude. So like, I don't really care what people got to say in terms about like people like, oh, you don't buy games and all that stuff. Like it, like it really fucking matters. Like it really, and the thing I can't stand, like this dude was like, the developer, you gotta support the developer. He would have made more money if you just bought the game. And I'm like, yo, think about it. Hold on.
Off of my
hold on. Me buying the game for 60, 70 bucks, whatever. I'm sure the check they get from Microsoft, right? Covers. More than I bet they'd rather the check. They'll see me in GameStop, right? Ready to buy their game. They'd be like, no, thank you, sir. You good. Right? They like the check they get from Xbox more than covers what they would get from me buying the game. You gotta think about it. When I buy the game, they got the publisher got to get his cut. Uncle Sam got to get his cut. The platform holder got to get his cut. Like the shit they say does not make sense. But not I mean, like I don't mind like Game Pass, like the owning game stuff. Here's the thing about owning games. Didn't this thing just come out, right? That this thing that's inside like with the PlayStation, right? It's called some battery clock or something like that. You take that shit out, it doesn't even play physical games. If that shit dies, so much for you owning games. Because people
talking about the CMOS. You talking about the CMOS battery.
People act like if you own a game, it's like no, like there's cases now. People are buying PS3 games, right? Because they shut the store down. And they go in to play it, and they can't even update it.
They can't update it. Yeah, they can't update the game because the CMOS battery and they PS. Yo, that shit's tough, bro.
Yeah, so you just bought all those games for no reason.
Here's another thing. They say, oh, backwards compatibility. Who the fuck cares? We don't play old games. But why the fuck are you running to go buy a PS3 and all these damn PS3 games now if we don't play old games? Like, I've been seeing all these dudes on Twitter now, like, buying PS3s, buying all these games. Oh my god, look at what I'm playing. But then when Xbox does backwards compatibility and then they bring the best feature, FPS boost, which FPS boost is a fucking game changer. That shit's underrated how it is. Like, that right there alone by itself, like, not only do I get the library of Xbox 360 and Xbox One games, but they can get the frame rate boosted. That's tough. Like, it's insane. Like, that's a game changer that a lot of people are downplaying, and they're not even recognizing that, hey, like, once they start putting like some of those big like games, like imagine Quantum Break gets 60 FPS out of nowhere.
That'd be fire. I'll play that again, bro. I'll play that again. Like, they need to put the FPS boost on fucking that Tokyo Gameworks game. What the fuck is it?
So many games I gotta get the FPS.
Hold on, this is about to go left. Tony Esquire says, yo, Kiss Smooth, inform your side piece who been rocking with you since 2016. Game Pass and Bethesda cannot coexist. All I'm saying is Game Pass can't hold up $7 billion. Didn't they make that money back in like 3 months?
Yeah, they made that money back.
Don't worry about Phil Spencer said it best. Don't worry about our money. Don't worry about Microsoft money.
He said that?
Yeah, he said that when they were talking about how that when somebody asked him about when they questioned about like, can you make that money back by putting your games on PlayStation and all this stuff, and he was like yeah, when he commented, he was like, yeah, he said, don't worry about Microsoft money. Like, just don't. It's people gonna give themselves headaches thinking about that shit. Bro. Yeah,
when they got like a short plan. Microsoft has nothing to worry about.
Exactly. Like, so
you're gonna worry about somebody's money. Worry about my money.
Exactly. to think that Game Pass and Bethesda cannot coexist is ridiculous. Like, that's the craziest shit I've ever heard. Like, just ludicrous. Like, this man, I think he needs some rest.
It's all good. No, it's okay. It's okay. Don't worry about it. Keep the super shots coming.
Bethesda, Bethesda sold for a reason. Apparently, they obviously gaming is expensive, and they've been doing it for long. So eventually, they couldn't afford to do what they wanted to continue to do without a pretty much a major backing. So I would rather, them get, bought out by somebody bigger than them to either make lesser quality products or to go under altogether or to get rid of some of their studios that they had, because they were Bethesda had Microsoft got 8 studios from them. They would have had to unload. They would have probably have to unload on like Arcane and all of them, since their games don't really sell like that.
Yeah, they don't sell as much. Yeah.
So, but yeah, we could wrap this bad boy up. Any more questions? Any more super chats? Anything we got to say before we get out of here?
Oh, what's the thing about these big titles not coming until like?
3 years, 3 years out. All right, so what's going on somebody from some podcast says somebody from close to Microsoft told him that their games are further out. Like 4 or 5 years down the line. He said there might be a new Xbox by the time these games comes in. He was referring to Everwild, Perfect Dark, and Fable.
Everwild, definitely. They
have
no
Everwild
fucking
for
clue
sure.
what they're doing with
that
that
shit
game.
is garbage, bro.
Yeah, you haven't even fucking seen it yet, bro.
Hear me out,
Nick, I'm not gonna lie. You were right when you told me that shit.
Yo, we all was right. Everybody in this podcast right now was in there watching it. Dre, am I lying? They didn't even know.
Like, I hated I hated I hated that part, but I'm still waiting to see. Like,
Yo,
I was like, damn.
Swan, she was sitting down with like all this nature shit in the background, and she looked in the camera and deadass said, "We don't know what this game is yet, but it's looking exciting." And I said, "What?
Did they fire her?"
Yeah,
Probably did. Shit.
Oh, she fired. Like,
No,
like,
she ain't.
Because when you say shit like that, like you put heavy skepticism in the air. Like you're just like, yeah, we don't know what it's about. I don't want it to be. This is my only worry is that I don't want it to be that emergent story shit like with Sea of Thieves.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I don't want. It could be anything else but that. So like that's what I don't want them to do again. But I'm just saying, like, I'll wait and see till I see gameplay or some shit where I'm like, because it did look like a really good game visually. So
yeah, the art style looks nice. Like it looks like it could be good, but we don't not know what it is. Like,
yeah, I'm
like, why is that? Why is out of all games ever, the one we've seen the most? Why is that taking the most to?
Not only that, it was the first one we seen. We saw that. We saw that in November 2019. It was the first one we seen. The first next gen game we seen.
Yeah, but how many trailers we got on that thing?
Like three.
Was it 3 for everyone?
Yeah.
Really?
We're gonna get some actual gameplay of that thing.
You're not. See, this is the thing.
There's no gameplay.
Here's the thing. Here's my issue with Rare. I like them, but the thing is, it's like they found magic with Sea of Thieves, right? Sea of Thieves, they didn't know what they wanted outside of it being a pirate game, right? So what they did was they did the open fucking what you call the little what do you paint on a fucking
canvas?
Yeah, they did open canvas concept, right? You know, we're gonna lay this canvas down. It's gonna be up to the players to determine what this is. So they felt that Sea of Thieves turned around, became successful. Now they're doing the same thing, same shit with Everwild. We're gonna be in the middle of a jungle with all this beautiful shit, and then you're gonna have to determine what we're gonna do. It might turn out to be hot at the end of the day, but it's not gonna be like this big narrative thing. It's gonna be a player's thing to determine how good this game is. And I'm like, why are you guys doing this shit? Just make a regular game, bro.
Just make an RPG out of that.
Just make
like that emergent storytelling shit. Like it worked for Sea of Thieves because, like, I mean, you're doing like pirate shit. Big boats, multiple people on it, multiple situations can occur at one single time. I don't know exactly what the fuck is happening in this game. So it's just like, what am I
you dancing with fucking dares and
like,
pigs.
Yeah, like, it's like, what the fuck am I going to be doing?
You're lighting up some sage, you know, you're just like spiritual.
Let me say this one thing. Let me say this one thing before we get off Rare. I don't even want them to touch Banjo no more, fam. I think they might mess that up, so.
No. Banjo has like a narrative to it. Anyway. So it's like they wouldn't really have to divert anything. Like they would just have to follow it to the T for the most part. Like they wouldn't have the liberty to fucking diverge it at that too. Like I wouldn't think that they would turn fucking Banjo-Kazooie into that type of game where it's like, you make up the story for him. Bitch, what do you mean? Like, what am I gonna do? Like,
the open world
I don't like when developers.
That sounds.
I don't like when game developers try to make me work. Don't make me be the creator. I want you create the damn fucking narrative. I'll play it. I'll enjoy it. Don't make me try to generate that shit by myself. I was like, I'm not doing half your job for you, nah, man.
Exactly. You want me to make the game, then you need to come hire me then. Shit, I'll come and write up a story for you right now. Like, you ain't about. Good.
You're just making a Breath of the Wild clone and call it a day.
Yeah, shit, it worked.
It's working for.
Yeah, I'll do it.
It worked for Ubisoft.
Yeah, Immortals. Yeah, I'll take that.
Yeah,
I'll take that. Yeah, make it a Breath of the Wild clone, and yeah, I'll take that. I'll take that. But this whole throw me in the middle of a forest and then try to make me figure it out. I'm not with that. I'm not.
Trees and I don't want to do none of that.
Yeah, it's like.
But let me answer Dre shit. Dre shit when he said this shit about these games and everything being so far out. Like I was talking about Coke about this before we got in here. It's kind of like the same way that Sony, they had all those smaller titles of fluff before they released God of War and before they released Horizon. I think like if these games are so far out, like some of these deals that the Xbox publishing thing are cooking up, those are there to fluff it out until those games are ready to release. So it's like we'll have big third party things happening before their first party is ready to deliver. So that's what I'm thinking. Is this the same way that the PS4 did with their earlier output?
So you talking about like with the indies and stuff like that?
Yeah, kind of like that. But they said for this Xbox publishing shit that some of these deals are big. So depending on we'll get smaller titles like the indie titles, but then we'll probably get third party developer like type of AAA stuff, like the like you could say with Outriders and shit like that. Mm-hmm. Probably better than Outriders, but I mean on the same, like so that's what I'm assuming. It's just like, and that's a smart way to do it, so they're not rushing these games with Game Pass. They don't have the rush to put these games out, so that's good. So it gives them time to work. And I mean, with this type of go around, like I mean, you don't feel the pressure of having to release your first party stuff if it's not ready to go as well. Like Sony's smart with doing that too. So Sony's really smart with doing that.
I mean, but aren't they trying to get rid of this narrative of having to wait?
Yeah, like, they are.
But that's what Game Pass is for. Like, I think so many games in Game Pass that is like it's kind of like a distraction in a way. It's kind of like you're taking your time. So it's like,
but
I know you want to see the first party shit. I know
exactly.
So it's
people are investing in Game Pass for the day and date first party.
Of course,
right, exactly.
But it's just like what they're promising is gonna hit Game Pass. It's like you're gonna get Halo in Game Pass. Like you're gonna get Fable in Game Pass. Like you're gonna get what's the game that I'm so excited? Stalker 2 and shit like that in Game Pass. So it's like that shit right there is gonna hold me over until I can see Avowed. You feel me? Stalker's not a short game. Like those. So it's just like I have stuff that's gonna be holding me over until I could get that Fable in there, until I could get that Avowed in there, until I could get those games in there. So it's like they're just hoping that people are actually just going to play games. Like they're not trying to focus just on the first party, third party stuff. They're just hoping that people are just going to play games until the games come out.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they're gonna need it. If their first party team gonna be on the hiatus for another 2 years, every third party banger need to be on Game Pass day and date.
Yeah, I'm hip. Like I'm so hip to that.
Yo, ain't Judgment coming out this month?
Yeah, but where's it on the pre-order, bro? Like they don't even let you pre-order the joint.
I haven't seen that drink on the pre-order drink.
For both PS5 and Series X. Is it a remaster? Or something?
It's a remaster. Yeah, it's remake. Yeah. It's not coming out for Xbox One though, which is weird. Well, it's the next gen version only, and they said Persona 5 is supposed to be coming fairly soon.
God damn! Oh my god, bro! Like that's
who said that?
That's a part. That's part of the rumors. That's actually the last game left that Phil Spencer mentioned in his video for Tokyo Game Show that hasn't come to Game Pass yet.
Now they said some of them jumps, like they said, like that Tokyo Game Show was very foretelling with how many developers he had from that region over there that he had speak for them and said they are in support of Xbox, because I guarantee you, like 80% of them who were up there did not work with Xbox before, bruh. So he went over there and he must have been dropping bags on people to get them to support Xbox, because half the motherfuckers have never touched Xbox. Shit, some of them were new.
All right,
but they had like OGs with them and shit. But go ahead.
Tony Esquire says in fiscal year 2020, the entire Microsoft core net was $44 billion. And you guys are saying their gaming division single-handedly generated $7 billion. Seriously, nobody said that. But
nobody said that.
I don't care about Microsoft money.
I'm literally not worried about their wallet, bro.
Stop it.
Like these dudes, the hate for Xbox is so funny that they try to separate Xbox from Microsoft when it's convenient. my Xbox ain't got no money. Microsoft has the money. Like, okay.
Yeah, now you're talking about.
Like, but we gonna get out of here, right? Shout out to Tony Esquire,
sure.
Fizo, the Melodic Punk. I saw Jez was in here. Salty was in here. Old Man Logan, we'll see you next week. Chris Righteous, prayers
Be
up.
safe, bruh.
Yeah,
Merc 305, I saw you. Jay got blessed, and see if I missed anyone. Jack Move Johnny, and then we made it through an episode without any brief interruptions from Black Bond. Nice. So thank you guys for tuning into the show. We will see you guys next week, and make sure you turn back in on Friday for the next episode of Let's Talk Games podcast with me and Dre. I am your host, the best spot, Kids Move. As always, Xbox is the best box. I am the best spot. Good night or good morning if you are on the other side of the globe. I am out of here. Peace.
Peace.
All right, fam. I'm about to